What's up, Bronco fans? Justin here with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing the Oracle flush mount LED taillights with the tinted lenses, available for all 21 and newer Broncos with factory halogen taillights. Now, these tails from Oracle are the answer to the factory taillights getting scratched up or damaged out on the trail by replacing them with a flush mount design that is going to look great while also adding some aggressive styling thanks to the tinted or smoke lenses. A lot to talk about here, so let's get into things. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I certainly enjoy wheeling our Broncos here at XT quite a bit, but at the same time, I also get a lot of enjoyment watching other Bronco owners out there wheel their rigs on YouTube. And a common theme I see with a lot of trail damage for the 6th gen is owners catching their factory taillights on a rock, a tree, or obstacle off-road, usually trashing them pretty good. Now, the reason for this, well, those factory taillights, as you guys probably all know all too well, they're actually gonna protrude about 3 inches from the rear of the truck, making them more prone to damage, whether light or, in most cases, pretty severe. I've seen people just literally take them clean off the quarter panel by catching them on a rock. Now, that's where these Oracles are gonna come into play. Now, these unique taillights from Oracle completely replace your stockers, and by doing so, sit perfectly flush with the rear quarter panels, making it very hard to damage these out on the trail. Now, on top of that, they also add some very cool appearance and improved functionality at the same time. Now, that cool appearance and added functionality is courtesy of a couple of things here. First and foremost, these lights are going to utilize a full LED operation for things like your brake lights. They include what Oracle calls their signature perimeter running lights, turn signals, and of course, full LED reverse lights. What's even more impressive is the amount of firepower you are getting from the rows of white LEDs here for those reverse lights. In fact, you're getting a whopping 1,400 lumens altogether here, certainly enough to illuminate the darkest areas or woods while backing up at night. Now, the lenses themselves, as you can see in this case, do feature a very durable material, which is given that aggressive dark tint to it, and that's gonna deliver that smoke look that a lot of us owners really are into. But if you're not a big fan of that, maybe you're more of a traditional Bronco owner as far as keeping lights red in this case, well, Oracle does also offer a red version of the flush mount tails, which you can also find right here at XT. Now, finally, guys, these lights are plug and play and do get backed by a 1-year limited warranty, just in case you run into any issues. Now, moving into pricing, and the flush tails from Oracle are gonna run you just south of $500, which puts these right in line with some of your other aftermarket taillight options currently on the site at the time of this video. Now, if this price point is a little too much for your budget at this time, well, you can also consider some smoked covers as well on the site for your 6th gen Bronco. They're gonna offer some minor protection for about $150 or so, but ultimately, they're not gonna deliver that flush fitment like the Oracles are delivering here today. Hey, speaking of fitment, let's get into the installation. Simply swap them out and you're good to go, nothing else needed. The site's just gonna call this one a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, maybe a couple of hours or so to complete from start to finish. But now we're gonna throw it out to the boys in the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need various ratchets, extensions, swivel adapter, 8 and 10 millimeter sockets, a clip removal tool, and a panel removal tool. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing some taillights on our Bronco, so let's get started. So we've got our rear door open, and we're going to need to remove a few of these little accent panels to access our taillight hardware. So we're going to grab our clip removal tool and pop these 3 out right here, and then go ahead and move around and get our other ones out. So once we've got these 3 clips out, we're gonna grab our panel removal tool and go ahead and pop this panel off. So we'll come back here behind our trim. Go ahead and work this off. So once you have those 3 clips out, we can come out here to our fender flare. Now we're just gonna go ahead and release the latch on the rearmost part of our fender flare, and there should be a push pin clip back here. Ours has kind of lost the time due to previous installs and modifications, but you'll need your clip removal tool and go ahead and pop that lower clip right out of the back there. Then we're just gonna pull the rear of this fender flare out of its seat, just like so, just so this is free of this, and then we can go ahead and get to the rest of our panel. So after we have that out, we'll come back out here and we're gonna remove this inner panel here. So we'll grab our 10mm socket on our ratchet, remove the 2 bolts holding it in, and then go ahead and pop this little trim panel out. Once we have those undone. So now that we have those 2 bolts out, there's one more little push pin clip up in here that we're gonna grab our clip removal tool and go ahead and pop that one out. Then we can go ahead and remove our panel. It is a little bit tucked in here. You kind of just wedge it right out like that. So next we can go ahead and remove our 2 panel mounting bolts here. We're gonna grab our 8mm swivel socket and small extension on our ratchet and go ahead and pop those out. So for this one, it might be beneficial to switch out to a longer extension. Remove that bolt. So now there's one more little 10mm bolt under here holding our mounting points on. So we've got our 10mm socket and swivel adapter along with an extension on our ratchet. Now this one is a little bit tricky to get to, but you can get to it. Just watch your trim so you don't damage your paint and just kind of fish this up in there and you can get it. Remove that. You want to pull out on here. Make sure everything else is loose over on this side. So now we can go ahead and pop our trim panels off and access our tail light. I'm just going to go ahead and pop this. Pop this one. Come back here, pop our side trim off just like so. Next we can go ahead and remove this 10mm bolt and go ahead and remove our tail light. So we'll grab our 10mm socket on our ratchet and pop this out. Support your tail light while you're doing this. Remove that bolt. We can go ahead, remove our tail light, and we'll unplug our factory connector. So we'll go ahead and unplug our connector right here. So we'll push in on our tab, pop that connector, remove our taillight. So now we can go ahead and install our new taillight setup. And first what we're gonna do is take this little ballast box back here. We're gonna remove the adhesive backing cover off of it. Sometimes a little easier said than done with these. Go ahead and get that off. All right, so we have the cover off that. You see we have a little extension on our wire. We're gonna tuck that back behind our taillight housing section, then go ahead and plug our taillight in and get this thing mounted up. Go ahead and put this back behind here, out of the way, and stick that right to our body surface there. We're gonna grab our connector, plug that in. That's the same as our OEM one. Make sure that clicks into place. And we're gonna line up our locators and our bolt holes. Go ahead and set this in place. You want to make sure you're not really pinching any wires or anything like that when you do this. Make sure this goes behind your mounting point here. Line your locator up, click that into place. Make sure your bolt holes line up like so. First, we're going to go ahead and install this lower 10mm bolt here. So we'll go ahead and get that started. And we'll go ahead and tighten that down with our 10mm socket on our ratchet. And we're going to come around front here and install our 2 8mm bolts. So now we'll come back around to the front and reinstall those 2 8mm mounting bolts with our 8mm socket extension on our ratchet. So Once we have that done, we'll go ahead and reinstall our trim panel. So we'll go ahead and line our locators up with our mounting holes here for our clips, and then we'll get our side piece back in. Now we'll go ahead and get this little bottom 10mm screw back into place. Now admittedly this one is pretty tricky to get back in, but if you hold it in your socket like so and kind of wedge it back up in there, just want to be mindful of your paint. You don't want to scratch that at all. It's just really in a tough spot. So we'll go ahead and get this started. Definitely want to be careful with our paint. So now we'll go ahead and install our little inner panel here. We're going to slide that back up into place. So our little door stop here comes through the panel. It's a little bit tricky, but it will go. Go ahead and get that back into place. Then we'll go ahead and reinstall our two 10mm screws here using our 10mm socket on our ratchet. And once we're done with that, we can go ahead and reinstall our 4 push pins. So now once you have this process complete for this side, you can go ahead and repeat these same steps for the other side. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our Oracle flush mount LED taillights with black housings and tinted lenses for your 21 current Bronco with factory halogen taillights excluding the Raptor. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Bronco, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.